Hello and welcome to the Fern Capella Astrology Report for Saturday, July 14th, 2012, and looking into the week ahead. I am truly grateful to be sharing the most epic of experiences with you, which I see as this Pluto square Uranus going on in the sky. I know and can feel that it's part of a larger conversation, a larger evolution happening between Pluto and Uranus. They were conjunct in the late 60s in Virgo, and obviously Pluto, with his transformative power, influenced deeply the erratic and revolutionary tendencies of Uranus and those on us in society. And so we saw these beginnings of this future, the beginnings of a new way, and all kinds of experiments into that new way took place with Pluto's deep probing power forcing it out of our society. And now Pluto and Uranus are coming to a square, so there's more decisions that need to be made, a direction that we need to form, action that needs to be taken, and it's less dreamy and less comfortable and more of a crisis, more of an urgency. So with that in mind, I also find it to be, with this crisis or this volatile energy that's accumulating right now between those two planets, I also find there to be a boulder being removed, some heavy concrete that's been built over all of the things that are possible, just breaking apart because of this forceful crisis that's being proposed right now. And in that, I see also a throughway or a line that that we're asking for right now, that humanity and that the universe is sort of desiring. And to me, that is this concept of enlightenment. Neptune's returning to its own sign in Pisces now, and it's getting comfortable there, and reality is sort of breaking apart, and we're all walking a new path and learning more about our own enlightenment. And then North Node in Sagittarius is pulling us towards philosophy and towards a deeper understanding of what we're doing here on planet Earth. So with all of that in mind, it feels like we have the seeds have been put in place through this potent impregnation in the late 60s. And now we have the moment of forced birth, kind of crisis that forces a new way of being. And in the midst of all of this, we have, with this boulder being moved, we have the beginnings of the conversation happening. And so I talked a little bit about that last week, where we're kind of coming around to each other in the neighborhoods and talking to each other and saying, hey, I have this idea of this new way I've used something, or this I don't need these old buckets anymore. Did you need them? And someone else can plant something in them. There's some sort of renewal happening that is a fresh breath, or a new life being breathed into our local environments right now. And even though that's very far away, actually, in some ways, the localness of it is very far away from what our humanity is desiring. We're desiring this larger understanding and larger scope perspective of us as a local community. We want to make it a world community. We want to love each other as equals, and that's all what we're desiring right now. But because we've been so blocked for so long, as Pluto and Uranus face off, they're forcing out this possibility and this potential for us to communicate again through need, victory gardens, survival mechanisms, communication about preparedness, things like that. You're also, the South Node on that side is saying that there's people from your past and your family, and even past life experiences and knowledge through those, and people that will reappear are here to help you open up this communication, open up this new philosophy, because there's a lot of new archetypes and new ideas that are being formed right now, and it's really time for us to take that and make action with it. Speaking of all this talk, Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow, and it's in Leo. So to me, this says that we can be cautious a little bit about the drama that we place inside of our communication right now, because it may go awry. So you want to really use the panoramic life review process and say, okay, 20 years later, 30 years later, if I was, making a big deal about this, now would I feel good about that, later on in life? So you really want to check in with yourself before you make a big scene. And you also want to look at your ego and the ego related to how you communicate yourself, and what part of your hurt or pride, pride of getting hurt is part of your ego, and can it be put aside, and can you get further without being so caught up in your place in the conversation? Can you get bigger than the conversation and just kind of take in information and pass through information? And so I think those are some challenges that are coming up for us, and that if we can really get graceful with that, we can get creative too. So I also think that if you are a creative person and are in the midst of a creative project, or have put something aside creatively, that you might want to pull that back out and breathe new life and new interest and new fun into those projects, because there might be a way to create solidity and review and a good process so that you can get those completed in a true form. So that's all I have for you guys today. I want you to be beautiful and be blessed and be loving with each other, and soon again we will be chatting.